It is Friday, 2 o'clock, time for the 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts, and thank you for joining us here. Of course, a lot to celebrate with it being Friday, end of the work week. We've had a stretch of very nice weather. Today was day number 9 in a row of no rain at all in central Ohio. That, however, is changing as tomorrow there are going to be some areas of rain and thunderstorms. We have a 10 weather impact alert for Saturday during the afternoon and evening for some of those scattered thunderstorms out there, a few of which could be strong to severe if all the ingredients come together. I'll go through all the details of that here now. As far as what to expect, again, the afternoon and evening is what we're looking at here. Mainly after 3, 4 o'clock, there'll be some scattered redevelopment, maybe some stuff already in the morning hours, but I don't anticipate anything strong or severe from that. That'll be garden variety in the morning and midday hours. And want to remind you, too, that even if there is no severe weather, any non-severe thunderstorms, they still have lightning. I know you may be thinking, well, of course, it's a thunderstorm. Of course, it has lightning. But there are so many activities going on Saturday outdoors. Want to just give that reminder that if there's lightning, if you hear thunder, get inside to a substantial building. Now, a canopy, overhang, open-sided pavilion, that doesn't count. If it's open on the sides, it's not substantial enough to protect you from lightning. It has to be inside a building, so do keep that in mind. Latest Storm Prediction Center outlook for tomorrow, largely unchanged from earlier today. Much of the area is into that level 2 out of 5 risk of a severe thunderstorm. Here's what we're really mainly looking at as far as the threats go. If anything does get strong enough, damaging winds are going to be the main thing we're keeping an eye on. Secondary threat would be some large hail. There could be very high amounts of energy up aloft where temperatures are cold enough to produce some hail. Low but not zero tornado threat. Looks like if that were to happen, it would be a brief tornado, mainly north and east of the Columbus area. Again, that's a low-end threat as the ingredients just aren't really good for that. Not to say it couldn't happen, but it's mainly the straight line winds that we're really watching for. Now, a couple other things that are factors for Saturday's severe weather potential. Two things really kind of making things a little unclear as far as some of the details. First of all, how much early activity we have in the morning through the midday hours. If we have that kind of last a lot longer, it limits the amount of time for that energy to really reinvigorate and get stronger storms. That could limit the coverage that we have later in the day. In addition, there's a small cap of warm air aloft, and that actually acts as a bit of a lid. And that may kind of develop during the afternoon and early evening. And if that's the case, it would push the start time back by a few hours. Basically, there's those bubbles of air, but they get to a spot they can't rise anymore. So until that cap is overcome, not much happens. So those are two things we are watching for as we go into Saturday. Today, though, no weather issues aside from just being breezy. We have a lot of sunshine out there the remainder of the day. Overnight, not much happening either. In fact, all the storm activity really holds off to our north and west, but after we get going on Saturday, a few showers are around in the morning hours. Could be a rumble of thunder, but again, this is garden variety. Not expecting anything severe from this early round in the day. Here's midday tomorrow. May still see a few spots of shower activity lingering. That slides off to the south and east. Then we're watching later in the afternoon and evening, and your hour-by-hour forecast is kind of really limiting much additional redevelopment until the evening hours. So we're really watching after 3 o'clock, but it could be close to 5 or 6 if those other factors that I mentioned end up coming to fruition here. So here we are in the evening hours. Some scattered thunderstorms roll through. Not a widespread line by any means. It doesn't look like it's going to be a giant squall line rolling through by any stretch. Some of this activity lingers into the day on Sunday. However, I think the front is going to be kind of arced across southern parts of the area. So we should see some redevelopment on Sunday, but mainly in our southern towns. The farther north you are on Sunday, the lower your chances of seeing any additional rain. Then as we go into Monday, we see high pressure build back in and give us a quiet day there. Clippers, we see temperatures in the 80s this evening, falling back into the 70s as you're heading home after the fireworks tonight. Memorial Tournament the next few days, again, looking at 80s on the way. Saturday is the day that was going to be most iffy. Sunday probably will keep those areas of rain off toward the south. With Memorial Tournament, winds are a factor for us, gusting as high as 20 to 25 miles an hour, not just today, but tomorrow as well. So wind outside of any rain or chances are going to be a thing for us. Weekend destinations, if you're taking a road trip, looking at 80s across much of the region, both Saturday into Sunday. Sunday's our better chance of seeing some drier weather across the state. But again, southern Ohio has that chance of some areas of thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon. Mostly sunny today. 87 is the high with a southwest wind of 10 to 20 gusting higher. We also have the mugginess creeping up over the coming days, and that is going to be a factor here coming up with the heat. There you see highs in the 80s over the coming days. In fact, could be pushing to about 90 by next Thursday. 10 weather impact alert for tomorrow p.m. Small chance of a lingering shower or storm on Sunday, mainly south. Dry on Monday, 88 is the high. Then we're staying in those 80s as we roll into next week. A little unsettled toward the middle of the week, but we'll also see those chances kind of dwindle a little bit as we settle into a bit more of a summer-like pattern where we get those little pop-up showers and storms to happen across the area. So that's a thing that we are going to be keeping an eye on for you as well. So, of course, there are a lot of things going on over the coming days here, so that is something we have to think about with the weather. There's a lot happening this weekend, and that includes the 50th playing of the Memorial Tournament. If you're heading out to Muirfield Village this weekend, here are a few things you need to know before you go. There are restrictions surrounding what you can and cannot bring inside. Small bags of certain dimensions, which you see on your screen, are allowed inside, along with smaller clear bags. Also, make sure you're downloading your tickets to your phone. Do not take a screenshot, as those will not work when you're coming in. Don't forget, the City of Dublin wants you to plan a safe ride home after you're done for the day. They have partnered with Lyft and Central Ohio Safe Ride for its Call Your Caddy, Skip the Drive campaign. It's good through Sunday. Riders can get $10 off a Lyft ride within 10 miles of Muirfield Village Golf Club using a special promo code, which we have on our website, 10tv.com. Of course, our coverage of the 2026 Memorial Tournament continues all weekend long right here on the 10 TV app and on air. Every night, Dom, Adam, and Nicole will have a look at what happened at Muirfield Village every day. Now, another thing to remember if you're heading out to the memorial today or this weekend, be prepared for the crowds. 10 TV traffic anchor Brianna Albizu continues our team coverage by explaining your parking and rideshare options for the tournament.
Yeah, I know the weekend's going to look crazy packed out there with all these events, especially for heading towards that memorial. So once again, I do want to show you some parking options for you because I know a lot of people will be taking advantage of this incredible opportunity. As you can see, when it comes to on-street parking, you can only utilize it on Muirfield Drive, just north of Whittingham Drive. As you can see, it's those northbound and southbound left-hand lanes that will be available for you. Of course, first come, first serve. The hours are 6:30 in the morning that day until 1 hour after play. Now, when it comes to parking lots, that's my favorite option. We do have some available for you. The Columbus Zoo is a really good one. Free parking until Sunday. That hours are from 7 a.m. until 1 hour after play. Free shuttles will also be provided for you out there. Love to see it. We also have that 6T lot that will be available not too far away. That's right off of State Route 745 and Dublin Road. Just know, a special note, when leaving that area, make sure you use that back gate to avoid traffic, especially by that intersection by Glick Road. Lastly, when it comes to rideshare options, we do have only two drop-off pickup spots for you at the tournament. That's going to be the 6T lot, we just talked about it, as well as entrance number 15. That's located on Dublin Road and Muirfield Drive. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Bree. And of course, the memorial is only one of the things happening this weekend in our community. So let's take a look at some of the others. In addition to the tournament, happening this weekend in Dublin is Forfest. That's tonight and tomorrow at Bridge Park. This is video of the event last year. The Free Street and Music Festival is open to the public, has live entertainment, games, and a golf-themed drone show. That drone show is tonight at 9:45 p.m. If you're looking for something else to do this weekend that isn't the Memorial Tournament, a family-friendly music festival is returning to Central Ohio. The Central Ohio Folk Festival starts tomorrow at Bank Run Metro Park in Lockbourne. It's the 29th year for the festival. You can expect a mix of folk, bluegrass, progressive, blues, even reggae music. There will be 30 different concerts over 2 days. Volunteers say the variety exemplifies folk music's diverse roots.
Folk music reflects history and sometimes has helped make history. For instance, songs from the civil rights movement in the 60s helped embolden and energize people to fight for social change. So there's a rich mix of history.
I love that.
The Folk Festival is Saturday and Sunday. If you buy your tickets online, they're $10 and they're $15 at the door. You can bring your pets, your kids, lawn chair, food and drinks. There will also be food trucks and Noctera beer for sale on site. And the events don't stop there. There are a lot more festivals also happening this weekend, so let's go rapid fire with some more options. The 8th Annual Columbus Summer Wine Fest is tomorrow at McPherson Commons. There are 2 sessions, the first between 1 and 4 p.m., the second between 4 and 7. Right now, tickets are $30. If you buy them at the gate, they're $35. The Chicken and Beer Fest is also happening. There'll be local food trucks, breweries, artists, and merchants. It'll be held at Dodge Park tomorrow. Proceeds go to Use Your Ears, an international nonprofit organization that connects youth with a network of music-related resources, workshops, and opportunities to grow. And there is the 10th edition of the Columbus Taco Fest. It's tomorrow and Sunday at Fortress Obetz. Admission is free. It is a 21-plus event this year. All right, with so much going on this weekend outside, we want to pass along some safety advice when it comes to the expanding tick populations. If you find a tick on you, doctors say you should pull it immediately with a pair of tweezers, but don't throw it away. Instead, bag it and save it.
The species, the life stage, all of that can help the healthcare worker if you end up feeling sick.
Experts also want you to watch out for the Lone Star tick, which is spreading rapidly. Its bite can trigger a severe condition called alpha-gal syndrome. It's a permanent allergy that completely blocks the body from digesting red meat, pork, and dairy.
The allergy can be mild, including itching, rashes, some GI symptoms, but it can also be very severe and unfortunately quite unpredictable. And in, unfortunately, many cases, people can develop anaphylactic shock.
Health officials say more than 260 people contract Lyme disease every year. If you're heading outdoors, you can protect yourself by sticking to mowed trails, wearing bug spray, and tucking your pants into your socks if you're walking near tall brush. Another thing to keep an eye on if you're out and about this weekend is your pets, because humans aren't alone in trying to cope with spring and early summer. Millions of pets suffer from seasonal allergies too. CBS's Bradley Blackburn explains why owners should be looking out for and treatments available for relief.
7-year-old pit bull mix Penny loves a walk on a nice day with her owner Kevin Chu, but spring brings a lot of suffering because they both battle seasonal allergies.
Consistent licking of her paws, especially her front two paws, and then when seasonal allergies really kicked in, she would actually put her whole leg in her mouth.
Pets can suffer from environmental, flea, and food allergies. The most common signs, itchiness in spots like the paws, around the face, and lips, according to Dr. Nicholas Palmero at Good Vets Brooklyn Heights.
As things progress, we can start to see seborrhea, which means kind of flaking and dander of the skin, hair loss, and then rashes start to break out. Eventually, infections are the ultimate kind of consequence of allergies left unchecked.
Other signs of allergies in pets can include respiratory issues, ear problems like recurrent infections, redness, and odor, digestive issues, and behavioral changes, which is why treatment is critical.
We want to nip the itch in the bud, get them in as often as possible during these kind of high allergy seasons. Understand that each animal is different and there can be specific tailored plans for them. We want to make sure you don't need any antibiotics, right?
This spot on Penny's forehead is another sign of a flare-up. Baths help relieve the irritation, and Chu says consistency is key.
A week and a half to 2 weeks, you'll have medicated baths, medicated shampoos that we put on her just to kind of keep the itching subdued.
Some TLC to keep Penny healthy and comfortable all allergy season long. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
All right, now to a few stories about our environment. New information today suggests that years of progress cleaning up the nation's air may be going up in smoke. University of Iowa researchers found that wildfire smoke is now completely offsetting the benefits of cleaner car emissions. Smog levels have risen every year since 2015, a reversal linked to an additional 300 premature deaths annually. And only making wildfires worse is the ongoing drought in the West, with states trying to make up the differences. This week it was announced that San Diego could help Arizona and Nevada shore up their water supplies under a first-of-its-kind agreement announced on Wednesday. The deal would allow San Diego County to sell some of the rights it has to the Colorado River water to the two states. The water wouldn't physically move across state lines. Instead, San Diego would draw less water from the river, leaving more available for others. Officials say it's the first large-scale water trade between states that share rights to the Colorado River. Details, including water volumes and pricing, still need to be negotiated in that agreement. That announcement over water rights is coming as the state of Colorado is now declaring a drought emergency. Record low snowpack and an extended stretch of warm weather are factors behind it. Colton Chavez speaks to a climatologist about Colorado's situation.
This one is so unique.
A unique season with 93% of Colorado under moderate or severe drought.
In terms of comparing to the 2012 drought, we had the heat from that, but even hotter. And then in terms of the 2002 drought, we had the low snowpack, but even lower.
That's what pushed Democratic Governor Jared Polis to declare a statewide drought emergency. But the low snowpack is only part of the story. This water year is also the warmest on record. Is the drought more about a lack of snow, or is the heat really the villain here, or is it a little bit of both?
I would say it's a little bit of both.
Becky Bollinger, a former assistant state climatologist for over 7 years, she says Governor Polis' declaration gives Colorado tools it didn't have before, including the ability to ask Washington for help.
It really kind of opens up to say, we're in a state where we might need some federal resources to help support us as we get through this.
At what point in this drought does it become like a drinking water crisis for Colorado communities?
I would say it is an extremely low likelihood that we would ever have to worry about drinking water.
But even in a crisis unlike any other,
We are actually a really smart state when it comes to water.
a unique state facing a uniquely challenging year.
And I feel like we have a lot larger amount of the population that knows that this is a finite resource.
Drought doesn't just impact drinking water supplies and wildfire risks, but it also impacts a large amount of western states' agriculture as well, especially in a region where most of the industry relies on irrigation to operate in otherwise hot and dry environments. Let's go to Yuma, Arizona to see how some new technology is helping out those farms.
Behind me, you can see the technology at work. Developers planted different vegetables just this morning. They say this tech could change the agriculture industry. Paul Mahacek is the CEO and co-founder of Atmo Cooling. He tells me it took about 5 years to develop this high-tech system, which uses real-time data to help control the climate, keeping crops cooler at just the right moment. It was developed in one of the world's warmest places, the Middle East. Atmo Cooling says the technology can help farmers grow crops even in the warmest months of the summer, giving them more control over growing conditions and greater flexibility in when and how they produce.
One of the things that we're seeing happen is changing climate. So it's getting hotter and it's getting drier, and it's more and more challenging to be productive with the lands we have. And it's not a Yuma problem, this is a global problem.
Ultrasonic wind sensors can track wind speeds and directions and adjust to changing conditions. And it can all be operated remotely through an electronic device, allowing farmers to turn the system on and off with just a few clicks. The developers tell me they'll be back in mid-August to see where the vegetables are in process. Reporting in Yuma, Karina Basarte for Arizona's Family.
All right, finally today, let's look at some new video into 10 TV. Staying in Arizona on Tuesday, a Scottsdale family heard scratching in their attic and called an exterminator. They were surprised to find bobcats living in their attic. Werner Swenson with Critter Evictors Wildlife Control said, "We saw some eyes glowing back at us and we realized very quickly it wasn't a raccoon, it was bobcats." That's quite an unexpected situation there for sure. Hopefully they find a better home other than someone's attic to be hanging out in. One more animal story for you this Friday. Police in Euclid, Ohio say an officer responded to a complaint of a trespasser at a Dollar General on Tuesday. The social media post from the police department says an Officer Hankins responded to the complaint and quickly located the suspect, a baby deer. The post joked that no charges were filed, of course. That would be another surprising situation. I wonder how that little critter got in there. Well, glad to know that everybody got out and put back in a spot that's a bit more appropriate for where they need to be. All right, so recapping what we have coming up today, we have dry weather, mostly sunny skies, highs well into the 80s, a little breezy out there. Then for tomorrow, midday and morning hours, maybe a few showers and a couple of thunderstorms out there. Not expecting those to be severe at all. We're mainly watching the later afternoon and evening hours for some scattered redevelopment of thunderstorms on Saturday. A few of those could be strong to severe, however, mainly watching some gusty winds as those push through. Even if they aren't severe, there's lightning with those. With all the outdoor things happening this weekend, do bear in mind that if you hear thunder, you see lightning, you need to be inside for a while. In fact, if you're counting between lightning and thunder, Once you get to 30 seconds, still stay inside for another 30 minutes after that, just to make sure that that storm can get far enough away that you're not at risk anymore. On Sunday, could be a few more showers and storms. Looks like mainly well south of the Columbus area as it looks right now. Next week, looking a little unsettled from time to time, with highs staying in the 80s and getting pretty humid as well. All right, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer is here, and we'll have the latest updates starting at 4 o'clock on 10 TV. You can always, of course, find the latest updates on 10tv.com and on our app whenever you need them. Have a great weekend.